Move on to C if I can drain this 3. Not even close.
You almost took out Uncle Dave's Eagle Rare, which he still hasn't claimed 4 months.
At that point, that's on you, Dave.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium for ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie.
I'm Dan.
And we're the Deathless Dogs.
Today we're doing another blind tasting, and it's the big budget bottled in bond bourbon blind Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. All the B words.
Right.
We're going to match up these 4 bottles in front of us, which are resident bottom shelfers in most places. Might be second to bottom, but they're inexpensive bottled in bond bourbons. First up being the Old Granddad bottled in bond. And this will be the first time for either of us having this one, I think. I'm a big fan of OGD 114, but I've never actually had the bonded. And then we've got Evan Williams bottled in bond, which is one we've reviewed previously.
It's pretty good from what I remember.
It was getting Rasta pasta, I believe, on a second date.
Yeah. This date will be receiving Rasta pasta. For sure.
The ever controversial Old Tub. Some people love it, some people hate it. And finally, Early Times bottled in bond, which is kind of a cult favorite among whiskey people. Distillery-wise, these two are from Beam. You've got a Heaven Hill here. And then this, when we got it, was under Brown-Forman, because I bought this a long time ago and just opened it recently. I do believe it has changed hands to Sazerac now, though, which has people very nervous.
I've heard of that. And isn't it distilled in Bardstown?
I'm not
Something
sure.
like that. I think it made that switch.
They're worried that the recipe might change, number one, because they love this bottle. And they're also worried that you're going to get the Sazerac marketing team to push this to being a $100 bottle all of a sudden. Oh, it's very limited availability, and it's going to have a fucking moose on top of it or something.
Early Times Rare.
Yeah.
Early Times Deluxe.
Yeah.
I would like to see a metallic crescent moon on the top.
Just have Mac Tonight from the old McDonald's
Yes.
commercials. If you haven't watched our last blind tasting we did, which was the Booker's Year in Review, the way we do this, because there's only 2 of us, is we have these beakers that are numbered, and Eddie goes in the other room. I fill them up with these, write down what I put in them. Then I go in the other room, he puts them into the Glens, writes down which number he put in which letter of Glen. Then at the end we reveal the keys and whatever. So there's no bias here. Although I don't think there would be any bias in this battle anyway.
But we like doing it that way because it's truly random.
Yeah, we don't have any unconscious bias either. Without further ado, we've got them lined up. We kind of reverse to you guys on camera. We're going to be working right to left.
We're starting with A, which we don't know what it is.
No idea what it is. I'll write it on the bottom of the screen so you guys will know what it is.
I'm going to take my notes. The nose on this isn't too bad, actually. It's got a little bit of that, cheaper wood smell, but there seems to be a bit of those red mixin cherries in there. Maybe a little bit of orange juice.
Yeah, I was going to say that the first impression was pretty fruity. I'm catching that maraschino cherry.
That's the word. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell that, but I'm writing it down anyways.
A video game style where you just write M cherry when they have a name that's too long.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say honey sweetness.
If you're going honey, I would go Arizona green tea honey style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
canned,
it's more like honey candy kind of thing. Not like a fresh jar of honey or something.
Clink them and drink them.
First impression is that's bringing through a decent amount of heat for 100 proof on the taste.
On the back end, it burns actually going down there's a hug to it.
Yeah.
It's prolonged. It's still going on for me. I think some of that lozenge comes through. A cherry lozenge. You ever had those coldies?
I remember them. I don't think I ever had them.
They were
I remember
the cherry
the
ones.
Yeah.
They became kind of the prelude to Airborne in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I think came in a little bit on the iron, I think is their big thing. So there is a bit of mineral as well in this one, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess I could see a little of that. Not to the level of a Dickel, but...
No, I'm talking a faint iron mineral type.
Slightly metallic.
On the back, though, there is a faint roasted nuttiness that comes just before the hug.
In the finish, I get oaky, kind of drying out the sides of my tongue a little bit.
Dry oakiness. I like that because it is kind of a drying.
Yeah.
It leaves you a little bit dry there.
I suppose we're going to B.
This nose is fainter than A. But there's like a dark cherry versus a maraschino cherry.
Yeah. Darker fruit. Almost like a tinge of a pineapple kind of thing.
Let me see.
If you really get in there.
I'm just not sure I'm getting it.
It's faint. It's a little tinge of like a pineapple-y thing.
No real oakiness or anything.
The sweetness leans more to, I would say, more of like a honey than a brown sugar. It's more on that side of it.
Get on board with that kind of analogy there.
You know, not that like dark, rich brown sugar thing. More of a light sweetness. Little bit of char coming through. But not like, not smelling like wood, just smelling like char.
Maybe a little creaminess to it, you know? You remember like Yoplait yogurt kind of? That creaminess with the black cherry.
I could get on board with that. I'm still going to say a little bit of, almost like a little bit of grilled pineapple. Like that char, it's not wood, it's like burnt sugar.
Let's taste it. Clink 'em and drink 'em. Ooh, that was a good one. That is weird. Holy crap. Was
It's
not
way
anticipating
different
that.
than the first one.
Yeah. You know how you're talking grilled pineapple in the smell? Like, I almost thought it was kind of pineapple-y up front in the flavor, but it fades to a nuttiness. And not like a peanuttiness, but more like a cashew or something exotic. You know, like maybe pistachio. Not a typical nut.
Much less burn than the first one. Not getting really any type of hug. You know, it'll be interesting to go back and taste the first one again and see if it hugs as hard the second time around because it was just the first thing we drank. This one up front, very much like softer, a creamier kind of feel to it.
Yeah, the mouthfeel on this one is definitely creamier. I agree with that. I definitely got like a strange pineapple vibe that kind of hits in waves almost.
Well, like you're talking the more like cashew. It's like I'm almost jumping to like caramel cashew sundae from Culver's.
And I might actually agree with you.
You know,
on
it's
that.
not like heavy caramel like that would be, but like it's there.
We're talking like a vanilla custard. You know, like a thicker, more flavorful, full-bodied thing going on here. I find this one to be very pleasant.
I would call this one much more crushable than the first.
Easy drinking.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on to C? Weakest of all noses.
Yeah, I was
right
going to
here.
say that I don't know if that's just me, but...
No, this is vanilla bucket ice cream. This is like Kemp's gallon o ice cream. Not really any corn notes, nut notes, anything like that. This is very...
One note.
I'm not even getting like wood or anything. I'm going to give it the rank of like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Faint at that.
Yeah, it's... I'm working for it.
Right? I mean, that's about all you can say about that, right? I mean, there's nothing special about this.
On the nose, no. I mean, it's pretty... Working...
This is 100 proof, and it's like, what happened? I'm kind of over the smell already.
I keep going back, trying, and I'm just not catching anything. All right.
Clink 'em and drink 'em. This one, nuttiness. Peanut forward, big time. This is peanut butter in a glass.
Yep. Creamy peanut butter. A little bit of
For
that.
sure, like the staying power of the peanut butter. Like, if you like peanut butter, this is a good one.
Little bit of like oak bitterness, but really overriding flavor of that creamy peanut butter.
And just the staying power of it.
Yeah. The lingering flavor.
This is like borderline screwball.
Yeah, I mean, as weak as the nose was, the flavor is pretty nice. If you're into peanut, which I am. I like that.
Yeah. Like this one, if you pick it up, you're probably not going to want to mix it with much. I don't think you're going to want to put like Coke in it or anything, you know? Probably wouldn't pair very well with that.
Yeah, I don't know about a peanut butter Coke. I'm
know?
kind of surprised they haven't made peanut butter Coke, to be honest with you, with all the flavors they're making right now. I grabbed a cinnamon Coke once by accident. Fumbled. Because it's like the same color as cherry Coke, and it was right next to it. And I just kind of blindly grabbed and thought I was grabbing cherry Coke. On that first sip, without like realizing what I had done, woof, that was tough.
You know, option C, I like peanut butter. So it's like Yeah, I'm cool with this. And
It's-
I'd be willing to make a prediction on which one I think
I
this
think so
is.
too.
I think this one would be in line to get some Rasta pasta later
Yeah.
on. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page where I do think this is the Evan Williams bottled in bond. Kind of one note nose, one note taste, but neither of them are bad.
All right, let's move on to D. This one's faint to me too.
It's
though.
very
like,
faint.
Like I'm not getting the same notes as even the Barely There vanilla ice cream. There's faint charred oak.
Just getting that alcohol burn, and then way, way, way at the end, like it's like somebody over there in like the next office over said, "Caramel." It's like the LaCroix of caramel noses, basically, where it's like, it's just if I think about caramel, I'll smell caramel. Going back to it. There was almost just a touch of like a floral thing that happened.
I mean, we haven't really talked about floral notes in this review yet. So,
yeah,
what kind? Describe the floral note to me.
It's like
our
a
audience.
spring flower kind of thing, like
Like a violet,
or like cherry blossom, or you know what I mean. Like I'm thinking
Ooh,
like
listen to you. You're
thinking
getting
like
poetic.
crabapple tree. You know, like pink flower is what I'm smelling.
Cherry blossoms. Let's go. Taste. Clink them and drink them.
Wow, that's very sweet up front.
See, I was more inclined to focus on the back end. Like, I feel like that's where it hit me the most. And there's a lot of roasted, bitter nut
But it goes,
flavors.
but it moves from like cotton candy back to that. Like as soon as I put it in, I was like, "This is the sweetest of all of them." But then it does have a lot of oak on the back.
I think, like, you're talking the most sweet of all of these, but I also think it's the most bitter.
It's a real yin and yang situation here. It's definitely in contention with A for bitterness.
I think this is the most bitter. Like, that's what stands out to me the most.
Yeah.
Like, you taste the sweetness,
Right at the front, it's just all sweet.
and there is like a lingering, as
All
you were
sweet.
saying, like a cotton candiness almost. Like
Yeah.
we're talking,
powdered sugar.
like I was gonna say like a burnt sugar, but not like a brown sugar.
No,
We're talking just standard sugar.
powdered sugar covered charred wood or something.
Yeah, because it is sweet, and I guess the lingering factor of it is predominantly sweet. Mm-hmm. But that bitterness in there is throwing me off.
Also, I'd say this has brought back the most amount of lingering like burn and hug since the first one.
I'd say A has the longest hug.
A has more, but this is since A we have not seen this level of linger.
I think that this one may be my least favorite. Like, just in flavor.
It seems like off kilter. When you first take it in, it's like one thing, and then it just completely 180s.
Yeah, the bitterness for me, like, it just kind of takes over. Like, it's sweet, and, like, what happened?
It doesn't know what it is.
I like that. I'm going to say it lacks identity. No, I'll tell you what, though. Like, I just kind of slammed one when I was writing just to do it. And I did get an element of peanut. Not to the extent of C.
The bitter peanut, almost like peanut shell.
It's just like sweetness, bitterness overtakes it, peanuts.
The nose has opened up since drinking it into being more fruits coming through, but more of that floral thing I was talking about. Nothing off-putting, but it's just kind of like clashing to me.
It is clashing. I agree with that. That's a good way of describing it.
It's like it could go in either direction fully, and you'd be like, okay. But the two lining up with each other.
That sweet to bitter, it is a bit off-putting.
It's a plaid shirt and striped pants. I suppose we can kind of just start moving back through and doing whatever.
Do you want to take guesses? I like when we guess things. What we think is what.
When we write down our rank, we should also just write what we think they are. Super fruity nose on A. Then I want to go back to this D that had the like cherry blossom thing. Yeah, so floral compared to A. Whereas A is the fruit, D is like the flower before the fruit shows up. You know?
No, I get that.
See, on C, going back now, I am getting peanuts on the nose with some vanilla.
Well, yeah. C, we initially had just vanilla.
Just vanilla,
But C is also what we already voted as to be like a peanut butter bomb. B was The dark cherry ripe fruits. More honey than brown sugar. But you know what? On further review, I might actually give it some brown sugar and caramel notes. How we consider D to be more powdered sugar, this one's definitely more brown sugar.
I don't get a ton of brown sugar. I mean, well, it's in the finish.
There's something different in there that just gives it this flavor boost that the other ones don't have. You know? Like, there's something different about B. Hard to believe that this would be under $30.
And then jump into C again. It's peanut butter all day.
Nothing new there.
No,
like, we know that.
All
and
day.
You know that.
All day peanut butter.
Whoa, okay, you know what I just got on B? You know what it is? I kid you not. Like, as I was going for C, mindlessly thinking, you know, mind is turned off, just operating. Watermelon. There is watermelon in B. That is that strange flavor that I couldn't describe. Try it again once. I swear that's what it is.
Like real watermelon or watermelon candy?
Maybe like a flavor, but it's there.
Like watermelon Jolly Rancher. I can kind of pick up what you're saying.
It's a different flavor.
Right. That's where, I mean, like we were calling it pineapple.
I think it's watermelon, man.
It could be, but like fake watermelon.
Yeah.
Not like an actual water, but like fake watermelon candy.
Like a watermelon Jolly Rancher for sure.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fucking rank these.
I think I have my rank established. There's gonna be some wild cards here, man.
I'm interested.
I mean, this could be like just because of the day. You know, this could be just on the whim how I'm feeling at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom two are gonna be the bottom two. The top two, wild cards. Here's what I'm doing. I got it.
I have a rank.
I apologize, but I have my rank.
It's locked in. It's locked in. There's no going back.
No,
it was not an easy rank.
It wasn't an easy pick. No, not at all.
Between number 1 and number 2, for me, I could fluctuate on the day, like you were saying.
There is a for sure last place, and I think you and I are probably unanimous on that. Can we both say our last place at the same time? D. Boom! Okay, so D is the worst.
D is Old Granddad Bottle and Bond.
That is the worst.
And that's what I guessed.
And that's what I guessed!
All right, what was your third place?
Third place is A.
My third place was A as well. And
wow.
I guessed Old Tub.
As did I guess Old Tub.
A is what?
4.
It's Old Tub. What was your second place?
My second place, which may upset the order,
this could be where we get split decision territory.
Second place was B.
We're backwards.
I
put B as number 1, C as number 2.
And I was C as number 1 and B as number 2.
So we have a split decision. There is no championship belt today. C was 3, which is Evan Williams, which is what I guessed it was.
As did I. So we knew what we had, I think.
Early times, I picked number 1, you picked number 2.
We guessed each one correctly.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
That's our rankings. We differed on our first and second place, but we both agreed that those could easily flip-flop for either of us. Have you had these 4 budget bourbon bottled and bond bottles? And do you have an opinion on the ranking? Where do you line up on them? Let us know in the comments. This is a fun one you could do at home by yourself for under $100.
Right. Absolutely.
For 4 bottles. Get some friends together. Each of you buy one of them. You're in it for like $20 each. If you haven't yet, hit like on the video. Hit subscribe on the channel. We're here every Wednesday doing new videos. And the more you hit that like, the more people get to come join us for the good time.
We appreciate everyone who's subscribing. And we are just growing tremendously.
It's been a nice, steady growth, and we really can't thank you guys enough for that.
From the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium, for ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
I'm going budget bourbon, bottom shelf, bottled and bond blenderoo.
This is a wild ass blender. So here we go with the Bottle and Bond Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica Schrute Farms
Budget Bourbon Blenderoo.
Clank 'em and drink 'em. Peanut butter bomb.
Yep, the peanut butter wins.